Hi, we are Spirited Band, and you are watching Irie Fire's Burning Sessions.
It is clear that this pandemic has had a drastic effect on our entertainment industry. Therefore, Spirited Band and many other bands around the world has to resort to perform virtually, or if we do perform, we have to perform while we maintain social distance from band members and also social distance from the crowd. But for now, meet the Spirited Band, Antigua #1 premier party band.
As a result of us, most of the members of the band being former members of Dread and the Baldhead, and there was a situation in which the lead singer, Bankers at the time, decided to take a hiatus, going on a break for a while. And we really figured, because we liked the music at the time, that we really didn't want that break. So we decided we were going to continue as a group. Same time, though, by pure coincidence, the guitarist, the second guitarist for the band, he actually recognized a particular day when we were having a meet that there was this word Spirited on my car. So he came in and he said, this would make a very good name for a bunch of guys who at this point were feeling a little bit down, dejected, and in order to lift our spirit, that would be the perfect name for the band, Spirited.
I love singing. I love the art of it. And you always, I always like to get the bad reviews, because sometimes, you always think that you're good, but it can be better. So I always like to get the critical side of it, and to, hey, you've been good, but in the back of your mind, I could have done that a little better, or whatever. So.
What have been your best and worst experiences on stage?
Well, let me say my worst would be one time I think I went to the bathroom and I came back and my skirt was tucked in my underwear. Well, nobody saw anything, but I was like, I would have died of embarrassment if anybody saw. And my best experience would have been, I would say maybe Shirley's Heights. I love the closeness of the people and everything, and that adrenaline rush that I get when I'm around, the international people and local, and one or two local people, so that would be Shirley's Heights. Nice.
Getting to tour, going to England, and playing at some of those gigs that we had in England was definitely a highlight for me. And to play with Cat of Third World was really top of the tree for me. If I could hang with any musicians, it would be Steel Pulse. That's it. Nobody else.
Why?
Because I think they're the best reggae group ever.
That's the far right.
Well, if I could hang with a musician, I would hang with Bob Marley, because I would want to know what inspired him to write so many great and powerful
I second
songs.
I heard that.
What was the question again?
If there was any musician dead or alive that you could line with, Who would it be?
Uncle Bill.
That will tell you. That's my boy there. I used to own everything that Michael have. His jacket.
Still does.
You know, I went and buy my jacket,
Still
his
does.
glove. You know, it's a pity I didn't get to see him on a stage live. But when I go to heaven, probably I'll get a chance to see him up there.
I'd like to hang with John Legend. The versatility of this guy in terms of the music, being able to play that piano, such wonderful voice, and appeals to almost every person.
It would be Erykah Badu for me. I just love that woman. She thinks outside of the box. She doesn't share the conventional beliefs that you find right now. She's very eccentric, more or less, and it comes out in her music and in her style and stuff like that.
Challenges. Well, let me start by saying sometimes, and most times, I shouldn't say most times because we only play there once a week. I just feel underappreciated, being on stage. Sometimes you're just singing your heart out, and it's like, more the local crowd. They would like sit down and be like, you'd be begging them. They would be appreciating this. Some of them will come up and tell you, hey, you done well and everything. But then in the back of your mind, like, but you sit down there and even say, even clap. So I actually feel a little underappreciated. When you go in a crowd with, you have international people, you feel so, at home and so appreciated and everything. And, in terms of getting gigs and so on, maybe because of the size of the band, really, because singing is my bread, really, so I depend on that.
Yeah, I would agree. But one of the things, though, that she didn't mention the point, the size of the band is really a challenge sometimes when you're looking for certain gigs, but because of the finances and the budget of some of those companies that we have locally to support a band this size. So more often than not, it's for the love of the music rather than the love of the money that keeps us going. The camaraderie that we have every time we meet. And that's one of the things that really push us despite those type of challenges. There's a lot of competition now in Antigua, a lot of bands. And so our size is really an issue.
One of the things we can do to help each other in the art form is to first thing you can criticize and not make it sound as if you're over criticizing. I think in Antigua exists a situation where most bands seem to go further apart, like everybody's competing against each other. We don't have a band union here per se, but things like Carnival where bands get together, and that should happen more often. It has to be a group of people that are willing to come together in that area and work it out for the benefit of everybody.
Everybody show me I want to see those two hands in the air one more time. Push them on. Push them on. Hey.
If I were to give an advice to upcoming musicians in Antigua, first thing I would do is encourage them to, develop their skills. If they're interested in singing, they probably should go to voice training, do vocal exercises, do some practice, go to classes. I think they also need to work on networking. They need to go out and meet people who are in the industry. They can go to different gigs, introduce themselves, just let their presence be felt. People would recognize that they love music, and they will more than likely get a positive response, but they're going to have to keep on trying, because you're going to get some closed doors, some doors just going to be shut right in your face, but you just have to have perseverance. It depends on what you want, how much you want it. So I would tell them, go for it.
Nadia said, if you want something, you have to reach for it. You have to be able to be forward thinking, and you need to be able to know how to choose the right persons. Now, that is always a difficult part, because there are always a lot of negatives. Persons who think that you're getting too far too fast are always willing to find something negative to say to you. You just have to be able to put on the blinders or the blinkers, and you just move forward, thinking positive all the time, looking at persons who would have succeeded and looking at how they got to where they are.
Most people know me as Richie Richardson, cricketer, former cricketer, the West Indies cricket team, former #1 batsman in the world, former captain of the West Indies cricket team.
One of the setbacks that we have encountered along the way is with Richie and Ambi playing cricket and disappearing quite often. So it's, Richie and Ambi, when the band first started, were the focal part of the band. So when they had to go and travel for cricket, we all did think, well, yes, the band can still function, but we haven't got the face there. But then as Tama has developed and come on, and Tama is much more the face now of Spirited, Richie and Ambi are still there and very, very important. But the band functions very well with them and very well without them.
I'm so happy, and we're so happy that we've had a manager like Tracy. Tracy looks out for everyone. No one is her favorite. And she's very diligent with her work, very strict, always on time, and she's not afraid to pull up everyone.
What's it like being a manager for a band this size? It can be quite challenging, and it can be frustrating, because everybody has their different way of doing things and not responding and maybe not being on time sometimes, but it's good fun. It's a really nice bunch of people.
She makes sure that she arranges the gigs, make sure that we're dressed properly, make sure that everything is in place, make sure that the people who we do the gigs with, that we will look after, the contracts are well sorted and everything's in place. She just makes us very, very comfortable.
And when it comes to performing, then they're all absolutely brilliant, but sometimes in the background with regard to the admin and being on time and stuff, that's where we fall down sometimes.
As musicians, we can find ourselves sometimes just being a bit lazy or just not paying attention, and she doesn't miss a beat. She's right there making sure we're on the ball every single time. So
it is really important to be on time, whether it's for a sound check, whether it's rehearsal, or whether it's for the actual gig. You've only got one opportunity to get it right, and timekeeping is so important, because the people that have booked you, they're not really interested in any tries and tribulations that you've got. Even if you're there for half an hour beforehand, at least you can all just regroup, talk about what you're going to do, and then go on stage. Not everybody here issues contracts when it comes to gigs, and quite often people are taken aback when we produce a contract and expect everybody to sign it and adhere to the various different clauses. We try to keep our contracts very simple and just make sure that, things that the band need to perform well are provided, and make sure that they've got refreshments throughout, make sure that we start at a reasonable time, finish at a reasonable time wherever possible, make sure that the breaks are there, and obviously that we get paid as well. And then with regard to copyright, that is a really tricky area, and it's something that you have to get input from the professionals, as it were, and people who do know what they're talking about. I know when we first started and we had our website, we don't know which song it was, but we had a short video clip of a mixture of different songs, and it was taken down because of copyright violations.
We have a wonderful camaraderie. We've had some struggles in the past, but I have to admit that you know things are looking really, really good for us. We're always going to have little bickering here and there. We have the little disputes and little arguments, but we always come back together and have fun. I think that's a great sign. We've got the spirit, we've got the soul, and it's in our hearts, and we love each other. Spirited man.
Spirited.